Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Renor. So today I'm going to do a reaction on how to detect envious people. This interview was done by the Outliners Insight. They interviewed uh, uh, the author um, Robert Greene, sorry. Robert Greene, I'm just being distracted. Robert Greene. So here goes. I'm going to give my reaction in between and at the end of the video.
Well, people who are envious, you know, I trace it to childhood. There's a great writer, Melanie Klein, a psychoanalyst, who said that there are children who are envious children. They're greedy, envious children. They envy the attention that other siblings are getting, right? And they go through life becoming enviers. But people like that have learned over the years to disguise their envy. They have to disguise it in some way because if they show it, it'll turn people off, and they'll be very limited in what they can get in life. So these are masters at disguising the signs of their envy. So they'll do things like that. They'll give you advice that is meant to kind of confuse you or throw you off or lead you down the wrong path, on and on. Um,
Okay, so I have to put in a little plug there. That is so true. That happened to me a lot when I was small. I grew up in an extended home, and and I think this happened a lot to kids who were brought up by families, not their parents or intermediate parents, but extended homes, probably children grew who grew up in foster care or um, were adopted with other kids too involved. They tend to be sabotaged a lot. Not saying that some were taken advantage of, but they were a lot of sabotagement going on where they were led astray in certain instances. Uh, so let's go back into hearing this.
there are there are myriad disguises that enviers have, and I try and show all of them. I mean, one thing that I think is really critical is that I talk a lot in this book about nonverbal communication because I think it's a huge area in social interactions that we normally don't pay attention to. People give off a lot of information by their body language, by their looks, by their tone of voice, and enviers often can be unmasked by their micro expressions,
Yes.
by their tone of voice. They may be praising you and saying something good, but their tone of voice is kind of cold, and it's made to make you wonder whether there's something else going on. Or you'll detect. So I have an example here of a way to test this, whether you're dealing with an envier. If you tell them some good news about yourself, you'll see a flash of disappointment in their eyes. It'll only last like half a second, and they'll quickly cover it over. Or if you say something bad that has happened to you, you'll see a slight smile that crosses their face, you know. Or people who gossip a lot. That's another kind of disguise of envy. They're saying bad things about other people. And we all love gossip, and it's kind of juicy and fun.
Right.
But it's a way to disguise the fact that they really envy the people that they're trying to bring down.
He's saying it's envy, right? How does one handle that? How does one deal with that?
Handle one's own envy or from other people?
No, no, no. Forget about other people. So first, let's address my own.
You have to be first willing to be honest with yourself.
Sure.
And to want to change this part of your character. But, look at these sort of strong moments in your life where you really hated somebody and maybe you acted on it, or you said something kind of insulting to a person. We've all done that. And you will tell yourself originally they triggered it by their action. I want you to
Yeah.
go back
Sure.
and start seeing what might have been a different scenario where you might have felt a pang of envy. So as you say, Even with the con artist who con people, there's a degree of, God damn, that guy got away with it. That's pretty interesting, you know. There's always usually a root of that, even with somebody that you hate or really despise. For some reason, there's a little spark of envy where you kind of admire the fact that they got away with something that you couldn't get away with. So you got to dig back and look at the actual causes of it, but look at those moments in your life in which you felt a very powerful negative emotion towards a person, and try and see if, instead going kind of reverse engineering it, you can go back to the moment and see the original sense of envy that you might have had. Keep this in mind. Um, an ancient writer going back like to 7th century BC, Hesiod, said, "The potter envies the potter, the writer envies the writer." And what it means is you're going to envy people who are in the same situation or boat as you. I don't envy my carpenter who got a great new job working on a house because I'm terrible with my hands. I could care less. I'm happy for him. But a writer who's suddenly 55 on Amazon while I'm 77, I'm going to feel envy for. So look at the people in your profession. Your
That's quite interesting, right? So sometimes when you envy, you envy someone within your caliber, uh, skills, right? If you're going to envy, you're going to probably envy someone who's a graphic artist. Say, I'm a graphic artist, I'm going to envy another graphic artist. Okay? So someone within your skills. Um, so another, as he give 1 point, if you're gonna envy a writer, he's gonna envy another writer. So people normally do not envy someone who's not in the same caliber as them. So that is a great note to point out. What if you were in a family with 10 writers? Is someone in that family with 10 writers going to envy every single one? Wow, that's crazy, right? So you mean every single person in that family wants to be a writer? Is something wrong there? What about if that family has 10 artists? Wow, every one of those artists is going to jealous one? Something is wrong there too. So let's look at this. Continue on.
probably your dislike of that fellow artist or that other podcaster, 99% sure that it comes from a place of envy.
For sure, yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So those are kind of signs of it. And then from there, from that place, and that degree of honesty, I give you tips and strategies for how to alter that envy into something, another dynamic. So for instance, you're always envying people who have more than you, who are doing better than you. But there's billions of people on this planet who are doing a lot worse than you, right? Um, the opposite of envy is gratitude, where you feel grateful for what you had as opposed to envying what other people have. And without getting too Pollyannish about it, you can always feel grateful for the fact that you're alive, that you're healthy, that you've got your brains and your wits about you, that you've got a decent job, that you have some people in your life. Why don't you look at the people who have a lot less than you, and instead of feeling envy for those who are better, why don't you feel grateful for what you have? People are not nearly as happy and successful as you think they are. They only present those happy moments on Bali on their Facebook feed. They're not showing the angry little bitter fight that they had with their girlfriend 2 hours before, in which she left, saying, "Wait, you asshole, I'm leaving you," kind of thing. They're doctoring their image that they present to show the best parts of their life. I talk in the book about how we always envy really wealthy people, and who was the wealthiest person in the world in the 1960s was Aristotle Onassis, and I read about him in this Jacqueline Kennedy biography. He was the most miserable man on the planet. He was so fucking insecure. He was just a nightmare to deal with. So if his billions couldn't buy him just an ounce of happiness, and these people that you envy aren't really worth envying, right? They're not really as happy as you think they are.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's amazing. So you see, it's not word. Let me just stop there. Sorry, guys.
5 words you pronounce wrong. 2 years.
I'm not, I'm kind of new to this thing, so I'm still getting, let me take this off. Okay. Okay. Let me just take this off. So forgive me. I'm like not good with this browser thing. Okay, so here's what I've known. Sometimes we envy people, and these people, we think they have it all. And they're not happy, right? They're not happy. Like, for instance, he just gave Onassis. He was one of the Onassis. Can't remember his last name, but I remember him. He was one of the richest men in the world. Let's say, for instance, I forgot. Bill Gates. Okay, Bill Gates. How we should so sure Bill Gates is happy? We don't know. Okay, he might not be happy. So we could be envying people and think that their life is happy and their life might not be happy. Um, and sometimes why envy? Envy brings on a lot. For instance, Proverbs 14:30 says, "A heart at peace give life to the body, but envy rots the bones." Envy could bring on cancer, envy could bring on diseases, envy rots the bones. Do not be jealous of those who do wrong. And sometimes it makes no sense envying people. That was a Psalm 37, 1 to 10. And then James 3:16 says, "For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice." So, what is the use envying and jealousy, being jealous of someone? You know, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You know, um, life goes on. It's not worth it. So, who God bless, no man curse. I hope you enjoyed this evening session. So I'll see you next time. Just remember, subscribe. Bye.